I spent 100 days in Better Minecraft. My goal is to defeat the Ender Dragon. And by the way, I stream on Twitch and I also have a Discord server. Those are both in the description below. Now, in Better Minecraft, things are a little different, such as the villages look different, new structures, and new mobs, as well as old mobs, but that look slightly different. And now with that out of the way, let's begin. On day 1, I spawned in and just looked around. I spawned by this weird structure, which I just admired, because it was quite different than the stuff you see in normal Minecraft, obviously. Then I went straight away and started getting wood, as you normally do, and then I started to explore. I discovered a waystone, which was quite cool because I've never seen those before, but I had heard of them. And then I got chased by mobs. There were so many skeletons. I hate skeletons. Throughout this entire let's play, I kept on dying to skeletons and more skeletons, and there was just skeletons everywhere. I hate them. I hate skeletons. Then I discovered a rootling. It was very cute and small, and I think I accidentally hit it. I don't know. I felt bad afterwards. And then also quite interesting, I got sprayed by a skunk. I think I hit it. I wanted to see what would happen, and it sprayed me, and I got this sickness effect, which was actually quite concerning, but then it went away after 2 minutes. It was fine. Exploring, I found a village. This village did not look like normal Minecraft, of course. The villages looked different. They seemed to all have different traits. There were some that were unemployed. There was, a beekeeper, which was actually quite cool. And the village layout also looked quite different. There was like this weird structure thing with copper mini golems, and yeah, it was quite cool. And that concluded day 1. I slept peacefully in one of the village's beds. On day 2, I explored more of the village and looted everything I could. And then I found another waystone, of course. They seem to be spawning in just like the villages. I didn't find one that was by itself, but I don't know. And then I found this weird fountain looking thing. I didn't know what it was or what it did, so I think I just left it alone, and that concluded day 2. Nothing exciting really happened. On day 3, I carried on and I found this funny structure that had a campfire with soul flame, so I decided to cook my pork chops on that. And then behind it there was this abandoned nether portal, which I actually found quite cool. But as I was crossing the tiny river to get to the nether portal, I found a crocodile. I thought it was so cool. Later though, I would discover that they are not so friendly. Later on, I discovered this weird underground dungeon. I went in a bit, saw that there were mobs, and then I immediately ran out because I was not prepared to fight that. And then I saw a cute little fishing boat. That concluded day 3. On day 4, I discovered the Forgotten Biome, which is very, very cool. I also found a boomerang, which I unfortunately threw and lost. I also got chased by the illager, and in doing so I accidentally blew on this coral horn, which freaked me out because I didn't know what was going to happen. On day 5, I decided that I should start finding a spot to build my house. So I searched around for a bit, and then I found this lovely little island thing that was, you had to cross by a bridge, this abandoned bridge structure, so I thought perfect. So I decided to start building. I still did not have a bed. On day 6, I finally finished the house, and to conclude me finishing the house, I found this mossy waystone and decided to place it down and call it home. Then I crafted a iron sword and decided to go exploring again. I found this tower. I thought it was a dungeon tower, but in fact it was just the regular towers that you find in the villages. I still looted it though. On day 7, I decided to climb to the top of the tower and I discovered my first diamond. Yay. And then I decided to go exploring a little bit more and climb the mountain that had this weird dungeon structure. It was the same layout as the one that I went down in before, but on top of it there was like these little crypts that had chests in them, and I found 2 more diamonds. So I decided that I'm going to make a diamond pickaxe. So I went home, made a bucket, and found this lava pit and decided to create obsidian, and then I mined 10 obsidian blocks. On day 8 I decided to build the nether portal base, so just over the bridge from my base I decided to build it, and then in about 5 minutes it was done. I built it, and then I went into the nether on day 9 just to check it out and see what was new or what was different. Nothing was really new or different apart from a couple mobs, which was really cool, like this dog creature and these zombie looking lava people. But I realized I was not strong enough and I decided to go back home. On day 10 it was a very special day because I found a horse. I tamed him, I had a saddle from one of the chests I looted, and now I had a friend and a companion. With him I went exploring and I found a brewing stand. Nothing really happened on day 11, I just found him a lead and kept him by my house. Between day 12 and 17, nothing really interesting happened apart from me going into the cave system and just trying to get myself some ore to make some armor and equipment. I did find this dungeon though, which was quite cool, and I definitely feel like I should go exploring there in the later stages of the 100 days, probably after I defeat the Ender Dragon. On day 18 I made a farm for food, and on day 19 I went up to the village that was on top of the hill and I found a dungeon tower. This tower looked different from the regular towers that I was looting. These ones actually had mobs, and so I didn't feel like I was strong enough to actually pursue them just yet. Between day 20 and 22 I decided to try and get some more food because I was really running low on food and the farm was just not growing fast enough. Eventually my next mission was to defeat the tower, and on day 22 I did. The loot was kind of mediocre, there was nothing really too exciting there if I remember, but I was just happy I defeated it. At the top of the tower there was this waystone, which is kind of cool because it basically shows that you have defeated one of the dungeon towers. On day 23 I decided to go mining and I found 2 diamonds. On day 24 I realized that my food was very scarce, so I had the brilliant idea of building 2 livestock pens. And so between days 24 and 27 I got 2 cows and I got 2 sheep, and I built the 2 livestock pens, and then I started to breed them. On day 30 I decided to go into the nether again just to do some exploring. I found a ghast and I killed it with its own fireball, and I got a very cool achievement. On day 31 I finally had all of the necessary items to craft an enchanting table. So between day 31 and 32 I dug out underneath my house and I created a little area to place my enchanting table along with all of the necessary bookshelves to get the maximum amount of levels for enchanting items. Between the days of 33 and 34, nothing really exciting happened, but I got 11 diamonds, which I think is a great achievement. After coming out of the caves and getting the 11 diamonds, I crafted a full diamond armor set. Between days 35 and 36, I went back into the caves and I found a dungeon. I looted it and I got 2 enchanted books. On day 37, after having some leftover diamonds, I decided to repair the damaged helmet with the anvil. Day 39 was quite eventful. Notice how I said in the previous days that I found a crocodile and I thought it was so cool? Well, this is when I actually died by a crocodile. That was very eventful, but luckily from that bad experience a good one came next, because I went to the furthest village away from me north of my house and I found the cartographer. On day 40 I decided to try and find items to trade with the cartographer in order to try and get the map that I needed, but I realized that was going to take a while. I do not know what happened to the video for day 41, but on day 42 I decided to make the potion of slow falling, and one of the ingredients is phantom membrane, and I looked in my chest and I couldn't find some. The only way to find some is to kill a phantom, but the only way you can get them is by not sleeping, so I decided to stay awake. And on day 43, after finishing the upstairs fireplace, I decided to move my chests upstairs and I found a phantom membrane in one of the chests, so I decided to make 2 potions of slow falling. On day 44, I decided to also try and make a potion of strength. I got all the ingredients, and after accidentally making one mundane potion, I made a potion of. On day 45, I went into the nether to try and find nether wart so I could create a potion of healing, but I didn't have any luck. I decided to go back and I found these like these scouts running past my house. I was a bit skeptical that if I attacked them, the nearby scout base would attack me, so I just left it. I left them be. Between day 46 and 48, nothing really eventful happened once again. I killed the scouts, I enchanted a sword, and I traded with Colton, the cartographer. On day 49, I decided to just risk it all and go atop of the mountain that had that weird dungeon structure. I went inside, there were mobs everywhere. I quickly blocked up the entrance and I had to dig a tunnel back out the side, and then I went on top. I wanted to see how many mobs would actually come out of the structure, and there were many, so I went back and realized that I should attempt this when I'm more stronger. And finally, on day 50, I decided to try and start a bee farm. I'm not too familiar with bees, so I researched a bit about them and it's a whole thing, but my first thing was just trying to find a beehive, and unfortunately I couldn't.